Cool. So, hi Daryl. Nice to meet you. Welcome
Same
to
here.
Yeah, welcome to Madhouse.
Beautiful.
Where I came across your work a while ago. I think I've been a fan of yours for a very long time. I think when I saw the Batmobile,
Oh, I see.
is when I said, yes,
Oh,
this is very interesting stuff.
oh, wow.
And then I think when you released the war truck,
Mm-hmm.
is when I said, you know what, maybe let me reach out and see because I'm very curious about so many things.
Excellent.
But before we get into all these things, because I may be like, for me, who's a true fanboy, I may be fanboying here, but like for
No,
those who
no.
don't know you, just introduce yourself, tell us who you are and what you do. Yes.
Sure. Should I start from the super beginning or cut to the
I guess like
chase?
just an intro, and then we can get into the nitty gritties, maybe, like after.
Uh,
But it's just a
okay,
general
sure.
introduction. Yeah.
Sure. A general introduction. So my
Yeah.
name is Daryl. I'm from the Philippines. I run two different companies called Bandit Nine Motorcycles and Van Daryl, which is our
Yeah.
new coach building company.
Yeah.
And that's it. We can
Yeah.
go further if you want.
Yeah, do you know funny thing? You need to break down what coach building is. I was telling someone yesterday that hey, I'm talking to Vandera and he does coach building. And
Uh-huh.
in our space, coaches are usually like those buses that go like up country to take
Ah,
people. So they're like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
he
I
builds
think somebody
buses.
somebody
Yeah,
told
like
me the same thing, which is really
yeah,
funny. So coach building is actually, I would argue, is even older than modern day, what do you call this, car manufacturing. So
yeah,
before coach building is, let me start with the definition. Coach building
yeah.
is about designing and building vehicles that are for you. That's it. Very simple. Start from scratch.
Yeah.
I'd be like, Gabrielle, what kind of vehicle do you want? Maybe if we were talking about 150 years ago, you would be asking me for a coach, which is,
Like a okay,
the
like a
four
horse.
wheeler
Yeah.
that gets pulled by a horse. So
I
I think
see, I
that's where
see.
it actually comes from.
Nice.
Um, I want a four seater, or I want it a little bit fancier, or I'm going to be taking this on really long journeys, and the roads are kind of terrible.
Yeah.
So that's where it comes from. It's about making vehicles from scratch and
Okay.
designing it for your needs or your vision, whatever it is that you've always dreamt of having.
Mm.
Versus today's method of manufacturing, which is, hey, here's what we think a car should look like. Do you want
Yeah.
it or not?
Yeah.
So that's what
Nice.
coach building is.
Cool, nice. Now, at least the audience, because I know my audience is generally young, creative
Yeah,
Africans, so they may
very
not
cool.
get it.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
may, yeah, but like at least now there's context to what exactly coach building is, which is really great.
I, I,
So,
I wouldn't
yeah,
mind making a bus too. That's kind of cool. That's a cool
yeah.
idea.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool, I guess.
Yeah.
So I thought we would start all the way from the beginning.
Hmm.
I know you were born in the Philippines, right? Um,
Yes.
and I was very curious about like I thought we could start from this from ground zero, and like I was very curious about childhood because I was
Hmm.
like,
Cool.
what you do is quite very interesting, but also I was just curious how your childhood sort of like inspired all this like I mean, before we get into all other things, but like just like how
Sure.
your childhood was and like growing up and you went into like design and cars and all these things. Yeah.
And I tell everybody, um, I'm like a man child. I, I'm 40 years old, and I still think like I'm 5 years old sometimes. But I
Yeah.
never. I had a really good childhood. I would say I'm
Oh, that's
very,
nice.
very, very, very blessed
Yeah.
that my parents were very forward thinking. I would say, even
Okay.
for an Asian family, you know,
Yeah, I know.
I,
Like
I would
very.
say.
Yeah.
Yeah, normally people they'd be strict Asian families. You know what? You're going to be an accountant. You're going to be a
Yeah.
doctor. You're going to be a
Yeah.
dentist.
Yeah.
You're going to be a lawyer. It's
Yeah.
it's always about securing your future, things
Yeah.
like that. And I
Yeah.
understand where that comes from. But my mom and dad just wanted me to be happy. You
Oh,
know.
wow, that's nice. Mm.
So and it's something that obviously when you're growing up, you don't really appreciate. I just had a good time. But
Yeah.
looking back, they just wanted me to be happy, meaning they didn't. I mean, they were pretty strict still. I don't even want to say the word strict. They just wanted me to do well in school
Okay.
still,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
but also it wasn't the most important thing in the world, I would say.
Ah,
They
okay.
wanted me to go have fun, see my friends, play some sports.
Yeah.
Just don't be. Am I allowed to swear in this just in case I
Yeah.
accidentally
Sure.
drop?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
They
Sure.
just don't want me to be an asshole. I
Yeah. I
think,
see what you mean. Yeah.
so, manners were still a
Mm.
thing for me,
Mm.
be
Yeah.
polite, right?
Yeah.
Think of others, but generally they just want me to be happy. I
Yeah.
spent a lot of my childhood. I remember very clearly, drawing.
Yeah.
I'm not a great illustrator, by the way.
Ah, okay.
Music was a big part of my, upbringing.
Okay. We're playing instruments.
Yeah, definitely instruments. So yeah, I grew up playing guitar, bass, and drums, and
Ah, nice.
trying saxophone and all these
Yeah.
things. So
Yeah.
they gave me a lot of room to explore,
Yeah.
which really looking back, I would like to give to my son,
Yeah.
who's 4 now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's nice. Do you
does
still
that answer?
play, by the way? Do you still play instruments?
I mean, I can still play. Yeah, yeah. The guitar is easy because I can just pick it up whenever, and it
Ah,
takes a
okay.
very small amount of space. Drums, for
Yeah.
example, takes a lot more room, much more annoying.
Yeah. Yeah. You
So
know, one of
I
those
can't
new
have that.
new digital drums. You know those drums that are just like
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I know what you mean. I've always been kind of yeah. You'll probably notice this pattern with me later,
Yeah.
but for me, that digital drum set, it does not feel like
Uh,
tactically the
I
same
see.
as
You're
a.
purist. You're purist. You're like
I'm a
guys. It's
that's that's me in a word.
yeah. You're just like
I'm
no.
kind of a
This is
purist.
yeah. Which this is interesting. This is interesting. So I think like I think you should start composing music just to put, like once
What
I
about
if I
yourself?
pardon
What about
myself.
yourself? Yeah, yeah. Is
Uh
music a big part of your
Yes,
upbringing?
I do. I do. I do. I do. I grew up playing piano, I think, a bit for a few years. And
Awesome.
then I stopped playing piano, so I'm really bad at it. But
Hmm.
right now I do a lot of like, I think I'll do a lot of like, once, if I'm not shooting, like doing this or doing the other stuff, I'm like mixing music for people or
Oh,
doing
that's
some
really
like,
cool.
or producing some music, which is kind of fun to do.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Maybe I
Yeah,
should
that's
sneak in my playlist into like the cars as well.
yeah. That'd be
Just be like,
really
hey,
cool.
Daryl, here's some music. Like,
We need some
this is
background music.
yeah, when people buy the card, it comes with like soundtrack,
That's so
sound.
cool.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I think
pianos
we
like
should talk.
that.
Yeah, we should talk
Oh,
about
sorry.
this
Go
on the
ahead.
side. I was saying we should talk about this on the side after.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm like
Yeah.
distracting you.
No, no, no. This could be a good. This could be a good opportunity for both of us.
Yeah,
Like, yeah,
maybe a blooper reel or something.
yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, so that's very interesting that you talked about happiness because like it's almost like funny thing. I don't know if you've read a book, The Unfair Advantage. I don't know if you've seen it. Read a book called The Unfair
I think
Advantage.
I've heard of it. I
Yeah,
need to
and
write
it's so
that down.
interesting. It's so interesting how like your upbringing is like low key an unfair advantage. You know what I mean? Like it sort of allowed you to
Yeah,
sort of be very
that's
like
true.
very like creative and like, like knowing what the work you do is very like so they allowed you to explore and like say hey
Hmm.
figure it out see what I mean
Yeah,
gets you
I,
excited and yeah
I got to tell you, I'm extremely. I use the word passionate when it comes to this topic.
yeah
Okay,
yeah
so I grew up with a lot of other I guess Asian people
yeah
who were not as fortunate as I was in
yeah
that regard.
yeah
And it
mm,
kind of upsets me when I see these kids that have to commit to like 4 years of university and potentially their entire lives
yeah
doing what their parents demanded. I'll
yeah
say demanded. Okay. So I like, and when I know what they want to do is something else. So
yeah
this, I get really
yeah I can
about
imagine
that
yeah
because, I guess I was brought up differently.
Yeah, that's really nice. And now I'm just more curious. I know you
Sure.
also traveled a lot after, in your childhood, and I was curious, like, also what this did for you outside. Like, I guess that your, I guess your unfair advantage of having a space where they allow you to explore, but then also it seems like you moved around a lot.
Yeah,
Um, and I was wondering what that was like and like what you learned during like that process of like just like
sure.
exploration, but also just seeing so many other spaces.
Yeah, that is another crazy blessing that I was, you know,
Yeah,
given.
yeah.
My dad was an expat, so we
Okay.
ended up moving from. I left the Philippines when I was only like 4 or 5.
Oh
I was in
wow.
Hong
Okay.
Kong,
Yeah.
Australia, Malaysia. I went to university in the States,
Yeah.
worked there a little bit, Dubai,
Yeah.
Vietnam, Beijing, and back.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, it's very different than
Yeah.
traveling to many countries versus living in many countries
Countries. Ah, I see what you mean.
and growing up with other kids that are just like you, I
Yeah.
guess, and many kids that are not like you,
Yeah.
which is really eye opening. I would say at the
Yeah.
time, I'm very used to people coming and going out of my life.
Mm. Okay. Ah, okay.
So I have a lot of friends around the world, I guess, that I
Yeah.
try my best to keep in touch with.
Yeah. Mm.
But for me, it teaches you a lot about tolerance, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not a, for me, one of the best things about it is not the fact that, when people say we're all the same, that's
Yeah.
not true, actually. I
Yeah.
think we're all very different. And
Yes.
it's about appreciating the difference and
Ah, I see.
accepting the difference, you know,
Yeah.
that
Mm.
you are completely different from me. Yeah, we
Yeah.
experience something there,
Yeah.
but actually you're a completely different thing. You come from a completely different background. You have a different
Yeah.
culture, and I don't understand it one bit.
Yeah.
And that is cool.
Yeah.
Not, you know what? I don't want
Yeah.
any of it, which is
Yeah. Yeah.
so for me, that's the biggest thing that I learned is that it's okay to be different. In fact, it's great.
Mm. Ah,
Yeah.
that's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And so let's just go to I know I was also curious what I mean. Mentioned you say you are not doing any drawing when or
Hmm.
were you into like manufacturing design when you're like growing up or traveling and
Sure.
doing all these things. I don't know if you were into that stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
like what would you think were your like crazy hobbies outside music and like design and yeah,
So when it comes to drawing,
yeah,
I like to tell people I'm not naturally gifted in the arts.
yeah,
Okay. In fact, let's say, your entire education from, grade 1 to grade 12,
yeah.
I would say I hated art.
Wow.
I hated art until the 10th grade, believe it or not.
Oh, that's interesting.
Really. And I thought I was just not naturally gifted. There were a lot of people like my brother who's naturally, skilled at drawing. And for me,
Yeah.
I had to work really hard at it,
Mm.
really hard at it. And
Ah, nice.
and if you
Definitely
ask me
get
to
you.
do it, yeah, if you ask me to do it now, I would probably be okay, but I
Yeah.
would need time to get back into it,
Ah, okay, I
to
see.
get good at it.
Yeah.
So me, I was never naturally gifted at the arts. In fact, I dodged it as much as I
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
until, eventually I was introduced to good teachers who
Yeah.
taught me that, what, it is possible to become a good artist. You just need to work at it.
I see. I see. I see.
Yeah.
Is this how you started doing graphic design? I know you went to school to do graphic design.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. So,
and
especially back then, again, I was lucky.
yeah.
I, that's my whole life, man. I'm just lucky.
Yeah. Funny thing, we mentioned the unfair advantage,
Yeah.
and like one of the, I think they give like these five things of like what everyone's unfair advantages are. So they say, I think it's either intelligence, resource, community,
Oh wow.
and I think environment, and then they put also luck is also another one of the
Unfair
unfair
advantage.
advantages. So the book
Yeah.
basically is saying that you have one of these five things going for you, so you just need to
Hmm.
like double down on one
Dude,
of them.
I'm on a lucky streak.
Yeah, you and the lucky streak. You're just like, yeah, environment, good
Yeah,
environment,
that's
and
it.
luck. Let's just go.
That's it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I was extremely lucky, and it
yeah,
was. when was I in school? Like early 2000s, I would
Okay.
say.
Mm.
And Steve Jobs is back,
Yeah.
and
Nice.
Apple was
Thing.
doing really well,
Yeah.
right? And so my
Yeah.
school was full of these really cool Apple computers at the time,
Nice.
and they were just introducing a graphic design program,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah.
and I just told you I'm a terrible drawer or
Yeah.
illustrator,
Yeah.
and here's Photoshop and Illustrator where I can undo things and make
Yeah.
random things
Yeah.
with it. And what's even cooler
Yeah.
is, again, I would say this is luck, man.
Yeah.
By the time I reached grade 11 and 12,
Yeah.
they weren't offering any graphic design courses anymore.
Mm.
So instead of me, I don't know, picking chemistry, for example,
Yeah.
they invented a class just for me where it was just me and one other student. That's it.
Oh wow.
And I
That's
was able
nice.
to get credits for that and practice, keep going.
Ah, nice. Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wow. That's that. Yeah.
I,
That's
I, I
that's
sound
too
spoiled,
much
don't I?
luck. No, this is like interesting luck. I think I need to hang out with you more because
Yeah. It's
maybe
like
yeah,
passive.
just rub off because this
Yeah.
is
That's
yeah,
it, man. I'm
yeah.
super lucky. Yeah.
That's
Especially, yeah.
amazing. That's
Yeah.
such an amazing like that the custom program started drops in your laps and says, "Hey, this is that." So what was in this program? I'm curious. Like, was it just graphic design or something you're doing, or was
Yeah.
it
It was
like
graphic design. And it was, how would I put this?
yeah,
It was really cool because it wasn't necessarily about teaching you how to use the application.
I
It
see.
was more almost very project based, you know?
Okay.
So, for example, there's a theater class and
Yeah,
they're going to do a production of, I don't know, some random musical,
yeah,
right? The graphic design class would create
yeah.
posters for it or flyers for
Ah,
it,
yes,
So
nice,
you're almost like learning on the job as well,
nice.
and working with what I would say is a client, you know?
Yeah, I see.
And it was very, I was only 16 at the time.
Ah, cool.
So it was a really cool experience.
Work experience, early work experience.
Yeah, early work experience in a very safe environment where you could screw
Yeah,
up, not meet
yeah,
not meet deadlines.
yeah. And no one's going to fire you. Yeah,
You know, it's gonna fire you. You have a good
yes,
time doing it.
yeah.
So no, I was, yeah, lucky.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. Like I'm very that's a very interesting, uh,
Yeah, I didn't
lucky
earn any of
story.
this.
Yeah, we just send you a T-shirt. I'm lucky, and like that's
Yeah,
very
I'm
like
lucky. I
yeah,
am.
yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
wondering what you did in university. What did you do like going university onwards? I know you said you studied in like the
Mhm.
US, and what were you doing? Was it still graphic design, or was it what course did you do? And
Yeah.
what
So
did you
I
study?
went to the States after I graduated from high school.
Okay.
I did what do you call this? Graphic design there as a graphic
Oh,
design
okay.
major, and
Okay.
I did that
What
for about
university?
3 years.
Can
It's called
you?
the Art Institute of California in Los Angeles.
Ah, the Art Institute.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was.
Was I
What's
was about
funny
to
is
say,
it's
was Chris Do your teacher, or did you like
which
bump
one?
into Chris? Do you know Chris Do? You know Chris Do?
I
I
don't
don't know if
know,
Chris of the
Chris.
future. I don't know if you know
Oh,
of
yeah, 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 yeah. I do know
he
him.
went there and taught there. So I was just like, that's very interesting.
Right, right. He's actually from a different school. It's called Art Center, I think.
Oh, it's Art Center. Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
I'm
He's Art
using
Center.
it.
That's the good school. I went to the not. I got to be honest. The school that I went to,
Yeah.
you're gonna get a lot of dislikes for your on your podcast.
Once that a
But
university war here, let's go. Uh-huh. Yeah.
so okay, so the Art Institute is reputation wise isn't that great. I'll put it.
Ah,
I'll,
okay.
I'll,
Okay.
I'll
I
put it
see.
out there. Art Center
Okay.
has an amazing reputation.
Ah, okay. I
Now,
see.
with that said, my argument is that it's really up to the student, because we
Ah,
had
okay.
really great teachers that were from Art Center
Wow.
teaching,
Yeah. Yeah.
and we had a diversity, I would say a more diverse faculty.
Ah,
So
okay.
at least at the time, okay, This is
Yeah.
where you're going to get your dislikes.
Yeah.
At the time,
Yeah.
Art Center had Art Center graduates teaching, you know?
Ah, okay. I
So
see.
they kind of maintained this, I would say, a particular look or style, which is great.
Yeah.
Whereas for us, it was more of like this random
Yeah.
buffet of different
Like
teachers from
teachers.
different disciplines,
Yeah.
you know,
Okay.
which is,
Uh,
I think, also a good point.
yeah.
Now,
Okay.
where we were not good is our, this, I'm going to get a lot of hate for this.
Yeah.
It's the students were definitely not as passionate,
I see.
I would say. And I was
Mm.
surrounded by people that were just didn't
Like,
care.
like let's just get through this and like go home and like
Yeah,
yeah, like
exactly.
get
Where
the
I was,
degree and get out of here. Yeah. I see what
yeah.
you mean.
And so the projects were really not good, you know, and
I
that
see.
was what was representing the school.
Mm. Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So for me, again, I would say I'm fortunate in that sense
Yeah.
because I put a lot of effort and energy into it. I think the
Yeah.
teachers saw that,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
tended to help me a little bit, you know.
Ah, that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. And
that's
I'm
really
curious
that.
because that's so interesting. It feels like that sort of energy must have come from your like upbringing, like with like traveling around and like you must have just
Hmm.
shown up to the table and said, let's
Yeah.
just do our very best and like get, I mean, and do our, and do the thing.
Uh,
As compared to like if you're just like, hey, I've just come to like get a degree and leave.
yeah. For me, it was people were wondering why I disappeared because for most of my let's say grade 1 to 12, I wasn't really focused in school.
Mm,
And then as soon as I went to university, I'm like completely just switched on, you know.
yeah, I
And I
see.
just, it was a completely, it was a flip for me that I took
Mm.
some education seriously for once.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Which is
yeah,
interesting. So after university, I know you went to advertising. So just tell us. I just want to know the journey and like how, summary of it, like get into like advertising. I'm also
sure.
very curious. I have a question. I know
Hmm.
you're into like cars and building, but also I know Art Center Art Institute is in Los Angeles, right? It's based in Los
Hmm.
Angeles. And I was wondering if is this where you're the bug for cars? Because I know Los Angeles's car culture is quite interesting. Like their love for like cars and like mechanics, they're really good at like building out stuff. They really like doing a lot of that stuff with cars. And I was curious where like the inklings for what you do now started. I was just very curious where it started because all this time we've not talked about cars. Like, and I'm like,
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah. I'm
guy
like wasting
builds
your time,
cars. I was
wasting
like,
precious time.
yeah, I was like,
Sure,
this guy builds cars for work, and I'm like, where did this I like not even like the idea of coach building, but like where did like the love for cars started
sure.
coming in? And I was like curious because I know you're like, oh, Los Angeles is a very
Mm.
interesting hub for this kind of stuff. So I was wondering if it started there or earlier.
No, you know what I'm going to tell you is my theory. For some reason, it's built into the genetics of boys. It's
Yeah.
uh,
Just like us.
it's just for some reason,
Machines.
like
Yeah.
when I see my son, I
Yeah.
didn't get him into cars. He
Yeah.
just gravitates towards toy cars and trucks and things like that. So
Yeah.
this is not a nurture thing. This is a nature thing for me. And I would
Okay.
argue for me, it would be the same.
Okay.
For some reason, from a very, very young age, I remember having a little toy
Yeah.
like Ferrari.
Yeah.
Maybe it was nurtured into me, but
Yeah.
I remember loving that. I remember I loved tanks.
Yeah.
I loved airplanes.
Yeah.
I loved, I don't know, motorcycles, I guess.
Yeah.
So it started from a very, very early age. I don't remember a time where I was never interested in cars.
Ah,
Now,
nice.
it was never serious,
Okay.
I would
Mm,
say,
mm,
but it's always been there, you know?
okay. Mm.
Yeah,
Oh, that's now that clears the air. Now we know.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
yeah.
We can move on.
Yeah. Yeah, we can also now, yeah, answer
Go
questions now
ahead.
we can move. Yeah, but like now let's talk about, I was curious about like your world, the time in advertising and like what that was like and like just like your experience generally in the world of advertising, and maybe I guess you could share like maybe your top three lessons you learned from that world and the things you enjoyed doing that
Okay.
kind of work. Yeah.
I would also argue that my time in advertising, I was very lucky. Okay,
Yeah.
in the sense
Of
that
course, the lucky guy has to be like, yeah,
I know
uh,
I'm very, very fortunate.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
my brother's older, so
Okay.
somehow he ended up in an advertising agency,
Okay.
and it was such a beautiful office. It's where they make all the Apple ads back when Steve
Nice.
Jobs was alive too.
Nice.
Okay, so it was, I would see all the iPod ads, all the Mac versus PC ads, and so I
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was immersed in that kind of world.
Okay.
So I was lucky that I was connected that way,
Yeah.
you know.
True.
And
Yeah.
I didn't do that. It
Yeah.
just happened to me. It happened to my
Yeah.
brother. So
Yeah.
the next thing I would say is it. I was in advertising at a great
Mm.
time,
I see.
meaning
Yeah.
they had much bigger budgets. They had who are now film directors.
Yeah.
That used to be ad guys. We
Yeah.
used to work with those guys. Our
Nice.
huge budgets, all for TV, amazing photography.
Yeah.
Craft was a
Yeah.
major, major thing there.
Yeah.
Craft,
Yeah.
you know, not one photo goes out if it sucks. Not one word
That's.
goes out if it sucks.
Yeah.
Now I feel like the standards are much lower because of speed
Yeah.
matters more than quality when it comes to
Yeah.
social media.
Yeah.
So
True.
I'm not in that
Mm.
world.
Yeah.
You remember when you said purist?
Yeah.
I'm a hardcore purist, and I
Yeah.
don't want to release things that I'm not really proud of just for the sake of speed or getting likes
Mm.
or
Yeah.
followers.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
So for me, that's one thing that I picked up during my ad days is craft. And I guess more important than craft is standards.
Mm.
You know, like whether you like something or not is
Yeah.
subjective,
Subjective. Yes. Mm.
right? That's subjective.
Yeah.
But a certain standard for yourself anyway, I
Yeah.
would say that's objective. Like, no,
Mm.
this is not good enough. It's not
Yeah.
going out.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
And for me, the third lesson I would say is it taught me to be tough. Tough, 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 tough. Super tough.
I can
It's
imagine.
like building a six pack.
Yeah, I must say, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I can imagine like because the time you were in advertising, I can imagine the intensity because like it seems also a time where everything was so intentional and there
Yeah,
was also so much at stake for some of those organizations and companies and people involved
yeah,
and like you couldn't just like play games. While here it's like you can now we can A B and test allegedly. You know what I mean? I can change
yeah,
the
yeah.
thumbnail of my YouTube video 50 times just to get the right
That's really
stuff.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
cool, but like it sort of creates like a less like intent like pressure
yeah,
to like fail. Like now you can fail quickly, while
yeah.
there's like you couldn't fail.
No, you can't fail. If you fail, you lost like millions of dollars back then.
Yeah,
For
yeah,
the agency, and
yeah,
it's very painful. But I think for me, in terms of it's grit, I would
mm.
say that is kind of, I sound like an old person.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a grit that's kind of been lost, I would say.
Mm.
You
Okay,
know,
I see.
so
Yeah,
before, even in my graphic design education,
yeah,
I'll give you an example. There was, I think it was my very first class.
yeah,
The guy was so meticulous about craft that if you ever presented like a board or a print with the corner kind of bent,
yeah.
it would go straight in the garbage. And I'm not
Wow.
joking. He walks around with a garbage bin, just putting projects that you spent hours on into the garbage, you know? And that has been something that has carried me into the digital age
Yeah,
where, you know, if one thing is not aligned,
mm.
I don't consider it, or I'll be really annoyed about it.
Yeah. I can imagine. Yeah,
So, and I'm used to getting treated that way in the ad agency as well.
I can imagine.
So it's if it's not good enough or if it's not perfect, don't
Yeah.
bother showing it.
I see.
Yeah,
Yeah, just
it's
like keep
it's
it and say I'm not ready, like, and then they'll
yeah,
shout at you for not being ready.
yeah, yeah, it's
Like,
almost kind of military. So I mean, it was still a lot of fun,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
but the rigor, the precision,
yeah,
you know, staying up late, I don't care if you're tired. It's not perfect. You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
that sort of thing.
yeah.
Uh, I don't see it too often now. You
I
know,
see.
I'm
Yeah.
oh my god, I'm old. All right.
Yeah, yeah, but this that's amazing. Like
Yeah.
that process sort of, and I mean, it even makes so much sense because when I see your work now, I'm just like, ah, okay, I see why that's like built like that. Or
Yeah.
you will. There was a bike one time. There was a short video I saw where you said there was a bike with no corners, and I said,
Oh yeah.
what's going on here? Like what? No corners. Like,
Yeah.
and then how you meticulously like hand built everything, or like had to go through
Mm.
a crazy process to make the bike. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's, and when you mention this, and I'm like, oh, that's very like um interesting and like very, like, I mean, I guess you're so lucky that you went through it because
Yeah.
yeah, you wouldn't make a bike with no corners if you didn't like go through this like
Yeah.
meticulous like
Really.
training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
um
and it makes me miserable. It makes me miserable sometimes because, I see agencies, for example, just churning out stuff that is just, I would say, noise. You
yeah,
know,
yeah, I may
I,
imagine.
I, I advertising done well should be art, is art.
Yeah. Do you know
It
this?
is.
Do you know that? You just mentioned that. Do you know this YouTube? I don't know if you know our Instagram channel called Good Ads Matter.
Oh, okay. No, I'm not aware of that.
So this guy's created like a whole like collection of ads, but these are like the most meticulously crafted advertising films and videos. But like they're so thoughtful that you're like, ah, I would really buy a Pepsi if they did it like this, or I'd really buy a thing because it's like they really thought about everything, and it's like very interesting.
Yeah,
So
exactly. And for me, a lot of the photographers that I used to work with who
yeah,
are extremely, refined
yeah,
in their art,
yeah,
they're losing to people with iPhones and,
yeah,
let's just take 100 pictures, 1,000 pictures, and let's try to get lucky. And, dude, that's not the
yeah,
way it's supposed to
yeah,
be done.
yeah.
So, oh, well, at my time, that's not, it's not, you
Yeah,
know,
I'd also think like maybe there's a lie that maybe like, so I feel like maybe it's also a scarcity mindset where everyone thinks like they're going to lose out if they don't like get onto it like immediately. And
yeah,
yet it's like, hey, maybe it's a slowdown that maybe you just take your time a little bit. You may have like the right like impact
yeah,
on the right thing. Like when we see filmmakers who take like years and they've never released the film, and it's
exactly.
like, when is the next film coming out? And you're just like, shit, relax. And then when it
Yeah,
comes out, you're like, wow, okay, okay. Yeah.
exactly. That's exactly right. So I don't know what to
And it's like
say.
we never learn. It's like we never learn. It's just like, guys, just keep just the guy who's winning takes his time. Like, see.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't want to be a hater, really,
yeah.
and I don't want to sound like I don't try to adapt. But
Yeah.
it's for me, it's maybe the thing that maybe holds me back is that I'm set in my ways.
Yeah, but no,
You know,
but also like for the work you do, I'm just like, yeah, you just like this is very unique stuff. So like I don't think like
Mhm.
even rushing it makes sense. It's not like you're
Not at all.
making 20 war tracks or 100 war
No, no,
tracks.
no,
It's,
no, not at all.
yeah,
It's
yeah. So but if yeah,
everything that we do is extremely limited, precisely because of that. It's just
yeah,
I cannot let it go.
yeah,
It,
yeah,
I
yeah,
just can't. There's something like
yeah.
something holding me back.
Yeah. I have a question.
Sometimes.
For
Yeah.
Bandit 9, I know the motorcycle company, you started with Bandit 9 and making the bikes. One
Yeah.
time you mentioned that you're going to make up 9 bikes. And I wanted
Hmm.
to ask, is it 9 bikes in one batch and then you move on to a whole new design of 9 new designs? Or is it just 9 and we're done? Those are the 9. We'll never make any others. If you want
That's
one
it.
of them, good luck finding it or buying it
Yeah.
or whatever. But like you made 9 and moved on, no more bikes.
Correct. That's it.
Uh,
That's it.
I was
So
when I first heard you say it, I thought it was like, hey, does he just sit down and say, you know what, collection one, number,
you
the
know,
first 9, or did you just
that's
make
it.
9 and then just like
Next.
said,
Yeah.
done, we're not
So
making bikes anymore?
the no. So we make 9 of every model. That's it. Nine
Ah,
nine units of every model. And I
ah,
tell everyone that is the worst business plan in the world because it's impossible to scale. Now, I have reasons for this.
Yeah.
The original idea behind Nine, oops, you can hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, the original idea behind Nine
Yeah.
is when I first started,
Yeah.
if I only made one motorcycle,
Yeah.
okay, it looks like I'm a small garage,
I see.
Like here's
Yeah.
this new guy doing this as a hobby,
Yeah. I see
all
what it
right?
is. Yeah. Yeah.
So for me, if I put out a limited number of units,
Yeah.
then it feels a lot more, let's say, professional.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, okay,
Yeah.
all right, these guys
Yeah.
have something going on.
Yeah.
But for me, it also came when it's designed to push me and my guys so that we
Okay.
don't keep repeating the same thing over and over and over. You know,
Okay.
here's nine, you're done. What else you got? What else you
Yeah.
got?
Yeah.
And actually, that's something that probably came from advertising. You know, our
Like,
job was to create something new every day. You know,
nice. Yeah. I
you
can
know how
imagine.
many ways they've sold Coca-Cola and they still come up with new ways of,
Selling it. Yeah.
saying,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's advertising. So
Yeah.
I think that's where it originally came from.
That's interesting. Yeah, but I was
Yeah.
just curious about it because like it was like was it nine and bunch of nine or just like made nine and then it's like yeah
No,
yeah
I'd be done by now. Yeah, but it's
yeah
okay.
you'd be on collection number 10 like
Yeah.
90
It,
motorcycles. Yeah.
it's become part of our brand in a strange way,
Yeah. Yeah.
that
Like
we only make 9 units of everything that we make. And that's it.
yeah. Yeah, that's very interesting. We're going to come to that. That's where I'm like very excited to talk to you about like
Sure.
this Bandit Nine and like the gallery thing you're doing.
Hmm.
But like let's talk about like how now I'm very curious about transition from advertising into like what you're doing now. But like what was that sort of process into like sort of doing the 360 of saying, hey, I am done selling ads for
Hmm.
whoever has an interesting budget
Yeah.
to like now like let me
To no
just
money.
go yeah yeah to no money and 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 making something. I also know you
Yeah.
did a thing which is very interesting of like saying let me get money for 1 year to fail, which is very interesting. But like
Exactly.
I want to know like that sort of thought process and like what started like inspiring you to like sort of get into like saying, you know what, it has been a
Hmm.
fun run in advertising. I think it's time to start transitioning to a thing and also like building motorbikes. Were
Hmm.
you a fan of motorbikes before? And so I'm just curious about all that.
Yeah.
But let's start with
So
like the transitions.
I was in advertising for probably about 10 years,
Okay.
a good 10 years.
Mm. Yeah.
And I don't know where to begin. It's
You're a
it's a lot
veteran
of
now. You know, when people
it,
have 10 years under their belt, they're veterans now.
it it's a lot of things actually. So I
Yeah.
told myself that from the very start that I'm going to be a creative director by the time I'm 30.
Okay.
And then I ended up accomplishing that by the time I was like 27 or 28.
Okay.
So, all right, one down.
Yeah.
The next problem was what was the next problem? The next problem was what I did on a daily basis
Yeah.
was no longer fun. As I, got up the ladder,
Yeah.
my job kind of changed.
I
Okay.
see.
And what I didn't want to do anymore was ask people to sacrifice their weekends or birthdays or anniversaries to do ads.
Yeah. I see what you mean.
And on top of that, to do ads that they weren't proud of because the
Okay.
client wants to control the creative process or the output, and
Yeah.
it, it was just not, it wasn't fun anymore for me. And
Yeah.
seeing people, give up stuff is not really pleasant. And
Yeah. I can
it
imagine.
lost its purpose
Yeah.
for me.
Mm.
And I got into motorcycles. I've always been into motorcycles actually, but
Okay.
as soon as I really hopped on one, which
Yeah.
was my first time in Vietnam, dude, I
Okay.
fell in love. The
Nice.
feeling of riding a motorcycle is it's as cliche as it sounds. It is like freedom. It feels
Yeah.
like
I can,
it feels like
yeah.
freedom,
Mm,
and you will never get that from a car. You just won't.
yeah.
But yeah, that's how I fell in love with it, and then I
Okay.
continued to do it up until my
Okay.
last days in advertising in Beijing,
Okay.
where I said, "Look, I can't do this anymore."
Yeah.
You know, I think I just want to make stuff
Mm,
how exactly how I envision it, exactly how I want it,
okay.
without the interference of
Client.
client.
Yeah. Yeah. I
You
see.
know,
Yeah. You
because
live in the dream. I see.
yeah,
Every
for
creative's
me,
dream. Yeah.
you know,
You just.
for me, there are so many talented guys in advertising, beautiful writers, beautiful
Yeah.
art directors, photographers, who are, I'm going to sound terrible,
Yeah.
but wasting their creative output
I see what
for
you mean.
clients that don't understand or whatever they're afraid of their
Mm,
boss or don't
yeah.
want to take risks, blah
Yeah. I
blah blah
see.
blah blah.
Yeah.
And it is so painful to watch, you know, somebody super bright, super talented become jaded. And
Mm,
no, you know,
yeah. I
like
can imagine.
their work should be seen is
Yeah.
my philosophy.
Yes.
That's why I would get into fights all the time in the office, fighting for their work. Like, this is
Yeah.
beautiful. Why aren't you proving it?
Yeah.
You
I
know?
see. I see. I see. I'm
Okay.
curious. What was? Did you own a motorcycle? And what was like your first motorcycle to own? Like, did you ever like when you were in Beijing and like, did you ever
Hmm.
own a motorcycle? And what model was this? I'm just curious. Just a question, just to
That's okay.
like throw in there.
Yeah. So the very first motorcycle I owned was a Honda Cub, which is from
Okay.
like the 1950s.
Okay.
Okay. And this is just a tiny scooter.
Okay.
And it's so cool. I got to tell you, it's still my favorite motorcycle, I would say.
Okay.
Even the new ones, even the ones that I make.
Yeah.
This Honda
Show us the
Cub.
ones you make. Yeah.
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 This Honda Cub is so cool and it's
Yeah.
so tough and resilient. It's just a tiny 50cc scooter,
Yeah.
but it can carry fridges, cows, a family of five in one,
Yeah.
like, you know. And
Yeah.
75 years later, it's still working, man. You know,
Nice. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
there's something great about that piece, that
Yeah.
machine. It's really
Yeah.
inspiring.
Yeah. I noticed that one of your pieces, your early pieces, was a scooter. That is that
Mhm.
very inspired by like that first bike you owned. There's one
Yeah,
of
I
your
mean,
early pieces, yeah, that you did. It
yeah,
was a
my
scooter.
philosophy when it comes to motorcycle is it's not about power. It's never about power for me. There are a lot of people that criticize us about, what? It's only 125 cc's.
Yeah,
Usually it's from the US where they want big, tough, right?
yeah,
The Europeans
yeah,
don't really care. The Japanese don't
yeah,
really care.
mm,
But for me, it's never about power. It's about the feeling of riding. Even a
I see.
bicycle,
Yeah,
I would say is this almost the same for me.
mm,
It's the
okay,
feeling that you get. That's
mm,
what that's why I do what I do. It's not to go really fast or,
yeah. It's just
that
enjoy the feeling of freedom while you're
exactly,
like,
you
like
know.
let the air in your face and all that. Those like,
Y-
yeah,
And I think people would tend to forget that, they might have a really big bike now, or like a Harley Davidson or some
yeah,
crazy super bike, but
yeah,
they probably started out with something small,
I see.
that put a smile on their face, that
Yeah,
got them there.
yeah,
Like, did you forget that that's where you began?
yeah.
So
Yeah. You
that's
know,
my
it's so
thinking.
funny you've said this. You know, in Kampala, there are like too many, there's so many motorcycles like that are used for like transportation and people moving around. There's just too
Y-
many. And
Yeah,
like, you talking about this, it's like I'm looking at this, I'm going like, I wonder if people in Kampala really appreciate like you know what I mean? Like people are just in the hustle and bustle of every day,
yeah,
just trying to get to a place and do a thing or get some money. But like, it's like, yo,
exactly.
you're not motorcycle, you're free, you're going somewhere to do something. Like
Yeah,
enjoy this ride from here to there. But it's like,
exactly. It's
yeah.
beautiful.
I may now start appreciating it more now when I get about Kampala. Just be like, yeah, Daryl
Mm,
was like, I should, once I'm on this bicycle,
yeah,
motorcycle, I should enjoy this ride.
but
Um,
it's the same thing in Vietnam too. So the
yeah,
primary transport is motorcycle,
yeah, I
and
see.
there's like it looks like water when you're in the street, like little cells, like
Yeah, even
going
here,
down
yeah,
the
it's just
thing.
like crazy. It's just like Like
Yeah,
owning a car here is like, why are you owning a car? It's like you just have to pay like all this, like walk or own a motorcycle, choose. But yeah,
yeah. But people, that's what I don't want, is for people
mm,
to forget that it's not just to take you from point A to B,
yeah,
right? But
mm,
it's meant to be enjoyed. You know, I could say
yeah,
the same thing about guitar,
yeah,
right? You're not just churning out chords, or
yeah.
like, don't forget about the feeling or the meaning
Yes,
of
yes,
it,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So that's me.
Yeah, that's amazing. So yeah, we're still talking about like this ideas journey of like getting into like leaving Beijing and going to like
Hmm.
do and what that process was like, and like what where was the point where you just like I'm jumping in and doing the thing. um and then
Like,
I'm also curious about, like, I know you said you loved when you came to Vietnam, you fell in love with it the first time and like you wanted, and I wanted to know what are the things about Vietnam outside, I guess, your experience with the motorcycle and all these things that you really love, that you when you decided to jump ship, you said, I'm going to make that home
sure.
base to do a thing. Yeah, but just share with us the story.
Mm, the, the first time I came to Vietnam was 2009. I
Okay.
went to Beijing after that, and then came back in 2014. But the first time I was in Vietnam, I fell in love immediately. I
Okay.
gotta tell you, I came from Dubai
Okay.
looking for a job.
Mm.
I think I can't remember what was on my plate, like
Yeah.
Singapore.
Yeah.
I think maybe something in China and maybe
Mm.
something in Europe. I can't remember
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
But they invited me to come
Yeah.
to Vietnam. And
Yeah.
as soon as I landed, there was this charm about this place, something super magical. And
Yeah.
people were really happy.
Yeah.
Everyone's really happy. Everyone's really friendly.
Yeah.
And just the look of the city. Yeah, man. Sometimes I need to remember that when I get annoyed with this place. But it's a beautiful country, I got to tell you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the way to see Vietnam is on a motorcycle. It's the
Yeah.
best way to see it.
Nice. Oh
So,
wow, that's nice. Yeah.
so after, I didn't like my boss at the time.
Yeah.
I hope he's
Yeah.
listening.
Yeah.
I didn't like my
Most of
boss.
2009.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, remember that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, fortunately, another office in Beijing offered me a job, and I took it.
Okay. Okay.
I've always wanted to go to China anyway. That was my
Okay.
game plan at some stage.
Yeah.
And then I took the job in Beijing, and that was great.
Yeah.
But after, like I said, 10 years of doing what I was doing,
Yeah.
I had enough,
Yeah.
and I was planning my escape.
Yeah.
So really, like you already know, I spent about a year saving money. You
Okay.
know, I'm not that kind of entrepreneur that borrows from the bank and like has no game plan.
Yeah.
I had a
Or
very
just
strict
jumps
game
in,
plan.
or just jumps in. There those who
Yeah,
just jump in and figure it out as
no,
they go.
no, I'm Asian. Everything is
Yeah.
accounted for.
Yeah. True. Yeah. The Asian in you said,
Yes.
no, no, we can't do this.
That's not,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
pretty balanced. But yeah, I had a
Yeah.
spreadsheet of
Okay.
how much I was going to eat, how
Okay.
much my rent was going to be, you
Nice.
know,
Mm.
an acceptable loss,
Yeah.
right, for an
Yeah.
entire year, and that
Mm.
is the sum that I needed to get.
Mm, I
And
see.
yeah, I did it and got out.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then ship and move to Vietnam. That's when you just moved to Vietnam and like
Yes.
started
Yes.
setting up shop.
Yes.
Um,
Correct.
yeah.
So I'm debating whether I should tell you this part.
Yeah.
So after three, okay, this is back in 2012, I would say.
Okay.
Okay, and
Okay.
China has evolved greatly
Okay.
since then.
Mm, mm,
But at the time, Beijing is a very cool city, super modern,
mm. Yeah.
but unfortunately, the at the time, okay, at the time,
Yeah.
the people were not easy,
Okay.
you
I see.
know.
Mm,
So I would see street fights almost
mm.
on a daily basis, And the
Yeah.
thing that set me off
Yeah.
was it was minus 20 degrees outside.
Yeah.
There was a lady holding a broom,
Yeah.
and the other side was a man holding a plastic chair, threatening to hit each other. And I just
Wow.
walked right in between them as if it was normal behavior.
Oh,
Like I'm so
wow.
used to it that, you know what? Whatever. And then I'm
Oh,
so used to it. And then
yeah,
I came back to, for a short vacation in
yeah,
Vietnam.
yeah.
And I was reminded of how you're supposed to treat other people,
I see.
and I
Mm,
forgot that. I really
mm,
forgot that.
yeah.
So I packed up and went here,
Oh,
So that's really the genesis of,
yeah,
of
yeah.
my starting my own business.
Nice, nice. I am now. This is where all my curiosity just comes in and just starts like becoming like
Yeah,
interrogating you till
yeah,
to finish. But
no
it
problem.
was I was curious about like setting up shop because it's like
Hmm.
what you're doing is not like you're setting up an advertising agency or you know what I mean like there are these businesses where it's like I think it's easier to sort of like set this up going like it's
Yeah.
the but like you're building custom like I think it was Bandit 9 I think building custom bikes and building
Yeah.
car and I was curious about like what that process was like in the early days and like the I guess like if you could share like how that was like the
Hmm.
challenges and the lessons learned and how you sort of navigated them generally so that like
Yes.
some context to to this and there's a reason why I asked this because a lot of creators on like the continent of Africa seem to always come from a position of very little or like there's not a lot of like access to a lot of things
Hmm.
and like this and I was like very curious because it's the same idea of like how do you build something amazing in a space where
Hmm.
it's like you have to build a lot where there's not a lot going on. You know what I mean? It's not like you're in Shenzhen or in the middle of
I
like
know exactly what
but
you mean.
yeah, yeah,
I would almost argue that I'm at a, all the luck advantages that we were talking about.
yeah,
For me and what I do, I would always say that I'm at a geographical disadvantage.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
in the sense that this Vietnam, not yet anyway, is not
yeah,
a place that's known for quality. That is just an Asia thing,
yeah,
you know.
mm,
So you wouldn't have a problem if you were buying from the United States or
mm,
the UK, for
mm,
example, or
yeah,
France or
yeah,
Germany, where
yeah, yeah,
quality is part of their country brand.
yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah,
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 you understand what I mean,
yeah,
right?
yeah. I see what you mean.
Like
Yeah,
if it's made in China or made in Vietnam, or you'll be
yeah,
like a little
mm,
bit questioning that,
yeah,
right?
yeah, mm,
But I got to tell you, it's a little bit of not a little bit. It's all because I'm a little naive, especially at the time. Like I
uh,
don't know these things. I don't know
yeah,
anything about, you know, I didn't know anything about anything at the time.
I
So
see.
I just did it. And then I kind of learned along the way that, look, okay, you know what? Maybe people are thinking that products in Vietnam are not of a high quality. So we need to address that,
I see.
And so I kind of, nothing was planned, I would say. I tried my
Yeah,
best to plan it,
yeah,
but no.
I see.
It's more about being able to persist and being able to adapt,
I see.
I would say.
Mm,
And it's just because I was young, didn't
mm,
know any better, and
yeah.
that was an advantage, I would say.
Yeah, yeah. You just
Not knowing.
figured it. Yeah, not knowing, and you just sort of like
Yeah,
ignorance is bliss. Like let's just
it
figure
is.
this out. Yeah,
Yeah.
and like
If
yeah,
I told a young motorcycle builder that wants to do what I do,
yeah.
I wouldn't tell them a thing.
Just build the
You know?
bike, build
Yeah,
it. Let's see. Let's
yeah,
build it.
build it.
Let's see.
That is exactly right. If
Yeah,
I told you all the rules and all the things and all the experience and all the things that I know, that
mm,
it would really turn you off. You would
yeah.
not
I
be
see.
able to start. It would be
Yeah.
extremely difficult.
Mm,
If I gave you too many parameters, knowing what I know now.
yeah.
But because I
Yeah.
was kind of silly,
Yeah.
I just went for it, and figure it out along the way.
Yeah, I'm curious
Yeah.
about limiting beliefs when, like, just to hint on before we continue, like, what did you face any limiting beliefs among like the population of like Vietnam when you're trying to say like, hey, I want to build like really cool custom built bikes and like, was there like a limiting belief? I asked this also because like again, I find like where you are at and the continent of Africa has similar, I
Hmm.
like
I know.
culture and things going on, and like I feel like it's can be very relatable to people listening to conversation where it's like, oh, okay, so because even like you saying like ignorance is bliss, it's also saying like a lot of creators here kind of start, but they have like sort of told themselves so many stories already that
You
like, and I was
know,
curious about how people in Vietnam or the people you tried to convince on how you sort of navigated that as you're trying to start up
I
the
I think the first step for me,
yeah,
what gave me courage
yeah,
and helped my, you know,
yeah,
my youth and naivety,
yeah,
is that I had a financial backing. Like
mm,
I was prepared. I told you for a year,
yeah, yeah. You could
right?
spend the
And
money and you could do the
yeah, and
thing.
that helps me
Okay.
do whatever the hell I want to do
Yeah.
for an entire year. Screw up, and
Mm,
figure it out along the way. So the first motorcycle I made looks ridiculous. I mean,
yeah.
it's cool,
Yeah.
right? But I didn't know if it was going to work, or it
Mm,
doesn't matter because
mm,
I have this kind of safety net that I've created for myself
yeah.
that allows me to screw up for a year.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's on a personal level, I would
Yeah.
say.
Mm,
And then when it's people talking,
yeah.
oh my, this is my superpower. I don't listen.
Yeah. Ah, nice.
That's my
just do it.
superpower.
Yeah.
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 I
Yeah.
stopped caring about what other people thought a long time ago.
Mm,
You
I
know what I
see.
mean?
Yeah.
Like I do what I want to do, and
Yeah.
I'm going to prove you wrong,
Yeah.
hopefully. I'm not a great listener in that sense.
Ah,
You know,
okay. Yeah. That's very helpful. Like, yeah, just ignore people and just do your thing and then figure it out. I mean,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
My suggestion really is keep your head down and
Yeah.
prove them wrong.
Yeah. And this comes down to the first thing, your first unfair advantage of being brought up to be happy, which is
Yeah.
very interesting. Why
Oh,
it's like
yeah.
it was just like, hey, just be happy. Like, are you
That's
happy?
exactly
And
right.
that's like
That
some of
is
one.
exactly right. You know,
Yeah.
I would argue that the richest people or the most successful people,
Yeah.
like, were probably laughed at.
Yeah. A lot.
The things,
Yeah.
yeah, the things
Yeah.
that they make sound
Yeah.
ridiculous, especially
Yeah.
when they first came out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'll give you a funny one. Uber, you know,
Yeah.
you're gonna tell random people to go pick up other random people,
People.
and
Yeah.
they're gonna pay you for it. That
Yeah.
sounds really silly,
Yeah. Or
you know.
Airbnb, like, hey,
Airbnb,
open your house up to random strangers and be a
yeah,
mini hotel like for
yeah,
them. It's like what? Like
it
yeah,
sounds really silly, doesn't it? But you
yeah,
know what? Keep your head down, keep at it. If that's what you really, really believe in,
yeah,
do it. Do it.
yeah,
Don't
yeah.
talk, just do it. Don't talk to other people. Don't ask for opinions. Don't ask anyone. Don't even
Yeah,
listen to me.
yeah.
You
It's like
know?
no, yeah.
Yeah.
I see,
Do
I
what you
see.
think is right.
Yeah.
Do what makes you happy.
Yeah,
Really.
I see. Yeah, that's amazing. So I'm curious about like team building and like just getting that off the ground as we continue this conversation about like building the
Mm.
business and trying to build it. How did you find talent? Because the stuff you build almost feels like yeah, you stole some people from somewhere and
Hmm.
like you
Yeah. How do I
it
find
feels like
talent?
yeah, yeah, it's one thing I'm very curious about because also that's a challenge within I guess as I said, like similar energies within like Vietnam and like
Hmm.
Africa, we're just
Right.
finding a pool of creative people who sort of can complement each other to build a very interesting either service or product. You know what I mean?
Right.
It can be. But I was curious how you sort of identified talent and said, hey, and also nurtured it, I guess, if there's it. But how did you figure that out? Because you do
Mm.
some, yeah,
So for me, I would say I had good training back in my advertising days.
okay, yeah,
I had to make hires. I had to hire good people.
yeah,
Now, finding talent is not, nah, what's the word? Finding people to apply,
yeah,
you know what I mean? That's
yeah,
easy.
mm,
Okay. Now, finding people that fit and are good
yeah,
is something else entirely.
yeah, mm,
And the first question that I would always ask
yeah,
is, why are you here?
mm,
And that applies to any job, for me,
yeah,
is
yeah,
why are you here?
yeah,
If you are here simply for money,
yeah.
then maybe this is not the right fit
I see.
immediately.
Mm,
If you are here because it's close to your house, Yeah. Okay, you know how this
Yeah.
is going to go.
Yeah.
But if you explain why you're here and what it is that is speaking to you about what we do, then I think that definitely we can continue talking, you know,
Sweet. Mm,
because there are a lot of other great car brands, motorcycle brands that are much bigger, more successful, or whatever it is,
yeah.
you know. For me, I want to know that, like you understand what it is that we do
Yeah.
and that you love what you do or what you're about to do
Yeah.
and kind of get where we're going, so
Nice.
that I think is the hardest part,
Mm,
and that is the hardest thing to replace, I would say.
mm, yeah, I
And
see.
for me, it's a much longer term view
Mm,
on the hiring process.
I see.
I don't need a graphic designer now or
Yeah.
for this project. I
Yeah.
would like to work with you for the next 10, 20 years,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So for me, that's my
Like the
planning, my hiring strategy.
yeah. Why are you here?
Yeah. Why
Yeah.
are you here?
Write a letter of intent and tell them why.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, especially, I know there's a lot of people that need money, need to support their family and blah, 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 blah.
Sure. Yeah.
But I feel like there are also a lot of job opportunities, at least here in Vietnam,
Yeah.
you know,
Mm.
where you can go and
Okay.
accomplish what it is that you're seeking to do.
Yeah. Mm.
So yeah, that's me.
Ah, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting way to see like and like just get people based on a why are you here and like
Yeah.
it's sort of like once you know the deep why then it's like easy to like I mean even if I guess you're not as talented and skilled as long as the why
Yeah.
is there you can sort of figure out I guess the rest of the
Yeah.
other things. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, why are you here versus why don't you just go apply at Ferrari or BMW?
Yeah, and like yeah,
I mean, really,
yeah, yeah,
you know? So if it was me, for example, and I saw a company like Bandit Nine or one of our friends,
yeah,
uh, the reasons is because I want to be at a place where I can change the trajectory of the company or the automotive industry.
yeah.
That's it, you know?
Nice,
Or I
nice.
want to make a bigger contribution because the team is a lot smaller than a BMW. Like I don't want to work
Yeah,
on a door handle, right?
yeah,
Like I want to work on the whole vehicle, have
yeah,
input on the whole thing.
yeah.
So like that's basically what I'm kind of looking for when I talk to people. Is you know,
Mm. Nice.
yeah,
Yes, nice. And so what's the how and so how did you I'm curious about like also like just growing because I noticed you do something very interesting.
okay,
You do gallery you seem to be in a gallery space
hmm,
like the way you present your brand and the cars that you build and the products you build it seems more
sure,
gallery than showroom esque you know what I mean like most people make the thing you
yeah,
make have showrooms but you sort of go like hey so basically it's like you become an artist and I was finding that where did that idea come from and it's such an interesting like um way to present what you make that sort
hmm,
of gives it a certain gravitas. I don't know if that's the
I
word
see,
yeah but like I was curious where that inspiration came from to sort of present the these things you make with the team as an art show not
hmm,
a showroom of like hey we make a product
right.
yeah
Well, that's a really good question, and it's got so many levels to it
yeah
that I don't know where to begin. So for me, like that's the way I perceive almost everything, and this is why I'm always miserable. Is that whatever it is that you do or you make, you put
yeah
everything you've got into it, whether it's a piece of
nice
music, a piece of writing, a film that you're doing, even your accounting. If your spreadsheet looks like, if it looks awful and I don't want to read it, then it's a pass for me.
yeah color
you know
code
so
it
yeah,
organize it you know like just make it
exactly.
make it quick yeah
Put some love, and whatever it is that you do, put a lot of love and effort into it. And for me, when you do that, it becomes a work of art,
yeah
right? And for me, we don't really make cars or motorcycles. We make works of art.
yeah
Like a motorcycle should be a work of art, not a thing that takes you from point A to B.
Yeah.
Geez, I can make a giant skateboard looking motorcycle where you can put all your bags or your, like that's a mini house. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not going to look good. Yeah, it'll take
Yeah.
you from point A to B,
Yeah.
but that's not really what we do.
Yeah.
And a lot of car brands and motorcycle brands focus more on. Can you hear that hammering? I'm sorry.
A bit, but it's
I'm
fine. I
sorry.
mean, you're louder than it, so it's fine. It's fine.
Okay, so a lot of car brands and motorcycle brands have become function based
I
almost.
see.
And I
Yeah.
understand that it's supposed to do that.
Yeah.
I know that. I know
Yeah.
that, you
Yeah.
know, but there's more to that, I feel, in life
Mm.
than, how fast it goes or all the silly horsepower numbers and torque and blah, 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 blah. Blah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know all these things. We know that. We could do that,
Yeah.
but that's not what we're doing. We want to make
Mm.
life a little bit more beautiful, right?
Mm-hmm.
We
Yeah.
want you to be super proud of this thing that's sitting in your parking lot or your garage,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's what we do, and I guess that's where it kind of comes, that feeling of gravitas. Is that
Yeah. Mm.
you know
Yeah.
we make things with a lot of love. That's it.
Yeah, and I also think like once like a consumer, once you get a product that is like built with a lot of love or care, there's
Yeah,
also a way you care for it. You know what I mean? Like whether it's a phone
yeah,
or a car, or like once you say like, wow, this guy's really put some effort. I'm really going to take care of my of what I just
yeah.
paid for.
True.
Yeah,
That's
that's
true.
very
I mean, there are a lot of things like that, and people just don't really notice.
mm,
Like if you have a lot of nice things, it's easy to be called materialistic, or you think you're materialistic. But I gotta
yeah,
tell you, no. Like a watch that was handed down by from your father to you, or that was
yeah,
given to you on your graduation, or who knows
yeah,
what, you're gonna
yeah,
sell that. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
No, you're gonna love that. You're gonna keep it, right?
yeah,
Or I don't know, like this, your guitar,
yeah,
for example. There, the things that I regret selling are actually old things. So you can have a connection
yeah,
between an object and you.
yeah,
Maybe you worked really hard to acquire one of our motorcycles, and we take that super seriously.
yeah, yeah,
We know
yeah,
that. So
yeah,
I would prefer that kind of relationship or that kind of mentality when
yeah,
we produce or design cars than, you know, customer segments, what's
yeah,
happening in the next 2 years.
yeah,
Yeah, I know that stuff, but
yeah.
no, that's not what
Mm,
I'm into. That's not what I like to do. That's not
yeah,
what we love to do.
true.
So,
It's like almost like I like that you're almost about impact more than impact compared to like reach. You know, most businesses seem to be like, can we get our car or thing to the most
yeah.
people as fast as possible? While for you,
Mhm.
just like, can I have like 50 people who have the thing and this like I've changed their lives for life. Like, yeah, they're going
Yeah,
to be the happiest people in the world for you guys because they bought a bike motorcycle or they bought a car
sure.
and like
And
everything.
that's true. I don't know how you got that. That's really good. That's exactly kind of what I'm thinking, man. Is
Mm,
that we're not out to change the world. We're out to change your life,
yeah,
just one at a time. I
yeah,
can't change the world. That's
yeah,
not, my
yeah,
agenda. My
yeah,
my game plan is to just kind of inspire just you,
yeah,
and I'll try to do my best to change your world.
yeah. Yeah,
You know,
that's
so
amazing. That's amazing. Really nicely. I just thought we would. I wanted to do a simple, like I thought we'd do a thing before we even get to the end of the conversation, but it was about like war
sure.
truck. I
Okay,
recently saw war truck, and
great.
I was like, "Wow, Daryl, like you guys are cooking."
Okay, in a good way, right? We're
Yeah, in a
cooking
good
good
way.
things.
Cooking very good things. But I
Okay.
wanted to talk about, just for context, like what is the creative process of getting like the war truck from start to finish?
Um,
Like so I thought we could do things like the inspiration, the challenges, and the lessons. I think like that was like so that people just get context to how you get to what you do.
mhm.
Just to, and appreciate it even more, I think. Yeah.
So for me, The brilliant thing about the war truck is not it's not the design. It's
Mm,
more like the idea
mm,
behind the war truck.
mm,
Like I love how it looks and everything, but
mm.
there's a real story behind the war truck,
Yeah,
and it's just because I live in Vietnam
yeah,
and I see these really cool military jeeps,
yeah.
sometimes just discarded.
Oh wow. Yeah, I can
And for
imagine.
me, there's something that was very very heartbreaking about that, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
and that these machines have a lot of personality. They've saved lives, hundreds of lives, I'm
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
The war truck, the military jeep
Jeep.
was not designed to kill, right? It was designed to transport and save,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah,
So for me, there was something heartbreaking about these vehicles that have so much story and have such a past that were just kind of left alone and discarded.
yeah,
So I randomly had this thought to save them somehow, at least in our own way.
yeah, yeah,
And that's kind of where it started, you
that's
know,
nice. Yeah.
the idea of bringing these military jeeps to life again.
Mm,
And then after that, that's when we started playing
yeah,
with the designs.
yeah.
I think that's what you're looking for, right? Is how did we get to the finish line?
Yes, how do you get it? I'm also very curious about what tools you're using because I was curious because I was like, do you guys model this stuff? Are you CAD designing them? Because it feels like the parts are just been so bespoke and very like custom built. And I was like wondering how are you kit bashing stuff in like Photoshop and like cheating? Or is this
Everything.
really like yeah.
I
Oh
I'm
everything.
always cheating.
Oh,
You
that's
know.
how you get lucky. Now we know. Now
Now
we
we
see.
know.
Yeah.
For me, it's about working. How would I put it? How would I put it?
Yeah.
A nicer way of putting it is using all the tools and all the lessons and all the experience that you have ever learned
Yeah.
and combining that into creating something new,
Mm, I
you
see.
know. So for me, I use Photoshop a lot, or I used to be in advertising, so I can write as
Yeah.
well.
Okay.
I know how to edit films and blah blah blah
Yeah.
blah blah. Blah. So I use all my knowledge and experience into creating the things that we pump out, whether it's an
Okay.
Instagram post, a movie, a
Yeah.
website, right?
Yeah.
How we talk on the website. This is
Yeah.
all
Advertisement.
knowledge, all my
Yeah.
knowledge coming back,
Yeah.
right? So in that way, I mean cheating.
Yeah.
Right?
True. Yeah.
So fortunately, my guys also have a lot of really cool experience. So my
Okay.
engineer is his background is working with helicopters. Right? He's
Oh, amazing.
an aeronautics guy. So
Okay.
I steal a little bit from there.
Yeah.
My one of my designers has a lot of experience from Italy.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
it's about you know
Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
taking all these cool things that
Yeah.
are at my disposal, right? That are around me,
Yeah.
and that's how the war truck kind of came to be,
Nice.
right?
Nice.
And
Nice.
I'm a dude. I love everything. I love everything. I
Nice.
love furniture.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's how the war truck interior is like, because I
Yeah.
take a little bit from there. I
Yeah.
know about wood
Yeah.
because of my random guitars lying around.
Yeah.
So I'm all of this, all the things that make me me and make my team them.
Yeah.
It's all into our products, and it's all into the
Nice.
war truck.
Okay. Nice.
And the way we do it is it's not that hard, man. I mean, it's extremely difficult. Sorry,
Yeah.
you
No,
know,
no, no, no.
it,
It's not that hard. It's not that
yeah,
hard. Let's just keep. Let's
it's
just.
it's
Let's.
easy to explain, difficult to do, as usual,
Yeah.
right?
Oh
So
yeah.
we have to
That's
come up
true.
with sketches and concepts, and then from there we have to go
Mm,
into engineering, and then from there we have to talk to different suppliers. What can we make in house? What do
yeah.
we need to go out and do?
Mm,
And that is the easy part, I would say, is the
yeah.
process.
Yeah.
It's about the actual daily nitty gritty random things that are really difficult. It's about
Yeah.
maintaining standards,
Yeah.
you know? It's about
Yeah.
pushing deadlines because, dude, I can't let this go,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
We have to be
Yeah.
trying,
Yeah.
So that is the hard part. The I can tell you very quickly. It's like sketch, a better sketch,
Yeah,
more refined drawings, blueprints,
yeah,
AutoCAD drawings.
yeah,
That's the easy. That's the easy to explain. It's no
yeah,
different than the big guys, I imagine,
yeah,
just at a much
yeah.
smaller scale.
Yeah, and I guess on a much smaller scale, it must be very interesting. I think because like the big
Yeah.
guys, it's like yeah, you have like 15 engineers here, like
Hmm.
yeah, like that, and some of them, as you said, like they're just designing the door handle. You know what I mean? That's their thing.
Yeah.
Like we're designing
Yeah.
door handles here. Like that's all we do. Other guys have
Right.
like
Right.
suspension. Other people are like other things. So it
In a way, it's an advantage too. Being small.
yeah,
Being small is much better. I got to tell you, being small is
yeah.
much better because you get to move faster. So,
Mm,
for example, the cars that you're probably seeing now were already done like 5 years ago, you know,
mm,
and now they're just getting it out.
ah, yes, I see.
So for us, the war truck is literally 2 years worth of work.
Yeah.
Bam, it's out.
Mm,
That's it.
I see. Yeah, I see what you mean. I see
We
what you
move
mean. Yeah,
quickly.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then
So
create impact quickly also. And just like go.
I hope so.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, remains to be seen. It's too
yeah.
early.
It's too early.
Yeah, it's too early to
No,
tell.
I think you sort of reminding us that cars need to be beautiful.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
hope so.
for a
That's
long
all I
time.
want to do.
For the long time, the big boys were making some very ugly things. We're just like, why? What? Like, can't
Yeah.
cars have like more interesting things going on?
I
Yeah,
don't understand sometimes with all their. I understand actually with all their
yeah.
money and resources and talent.
Tech.
Why do they produce such weird things? And it's
Yeah,
probably because the not creative guys are in charge.
true.
I'm 100% sure that they have to
Yeah,
hit quotas, or
yeah,
you know the marketing people are like, look, this is not going to speak to 40 to 50-year olds with X income. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That
yeah. I
sucks.
see. Yeah, yes, I know, I know, I know. And it's like,
Yeah.
and I guess like from very corporate culture, it's like no one's willing to take to be on the chopping block because like your
Yeah.
job is also on the line. Because like if you
Yeah.
mess up, you're gonna get
Exactly.
fired. So you don't want to take that risk. So let's just keep it safe.
And
Yeah,
there's also bureaucracy.
yeah,
There are a lot of very old rules that were invented back in the 1930s, 40s, 50s, where
yeah,
cars still have to adhere to that.
yeah.
you know
I see.
so it's very limiting. That's
Yeah,
why whenever a car company comes up with a concept car that's really cool, and
yeah,
then when you see the street model, the production model, it's like
yeah,
really
yeah,
uninspiring. It's because
yeah.
of all
They said
that
concept
happened
car,
in
no
between.
rules. Guys were like, what? No rules? All right,
Yeah.
let's shine bright. But
Yeah,
now,
exactly.
guys, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
So for me, it's precisely that. I want to stop at the concept car, get it out on the street, not
And make it
be
street legal.
infected. Yeah,
Yeah.
not
Get the
infected by
concept
the
car
other stuff.
street legal and move on. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's that's
That's the
that's
plan.
that's that's really nice. So I know we're coming to the end of this conversation. That's been great. I
Sure.
think we should do a part two, or I
Oh
should
wow.
just, or I should just like get a camera crew and just fly to Vietnam and
Yeah,
do
let's go.
a cool
We'll have some fun.
documentary. You've just mentioned some things, and my brain's going like, we should just come Vietnam and shoot a documentary.
Let's
Because
go. I'm
like
ready.
seeing
Or
like
I'll
the
go over
native,
there.
yeah, or just come and we build something here. Just come and just
Okay.
come build
I'd love to
something.
see.
Yeah, but the thing I usually ask every guest at the end of every episode usually is, in case we're bored people for the past 1 hour,
Sure.
it's just like this
Yeah.
guy's just lucky. Like he's
That's the theme.
yeah, this guy's just lucky. One
Yeah, we
life
can wrap
lesson
it up.
that, yeah, one life lesson that you think people can take away one life lesson you think people can take away that they can apply in their creative careers going forward in whatever they're doing, whether it is making something, whatever it is they're making, just a life lesson you think that they could take on with and
That's a good one. One life lesson
yeah,
for creative people.
yeah, even general people, because usually even some people who are watching this may not be creative types, creative types be, but yeah,
I would just really, I think I would just tell them to just do it. Get on with it.
yeah,
Okay. There's no way you can plan for anything or everything. You think you're being clever trying to do research, and then life is going to throw you a random brick, you know?
yeah, or broom,
Especially, yeah, it's just,
yeah,
I got to tell you, just do it.
yeah,
Just do it and keep adapting and learning and,
yeah,
evolving. Try to be better than you were yesterday,
yeah,
but you need to just do it. Don't think, go.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah,
see. I see.
that's what I
I
would
see.
say.
Nice. Thank you so much, Daryl, for your time. This has been amazing. I loved having this conversation.
No, thank you for
Yeah.
having me. That was fun.
Yeah. It was fun. Let me just stop the recording a bit
Sure.
here. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So it's just going to